In these days of national smoking bans, global recessions and a nanny state that knows best, there's one subsection of society that's feeling the squeeze as hard, if not harder, than any other: the pub landlord. In a working class town like Oldham, the pub has been part of the town's life and personality for generations, but now pubs all over the town are struggling to get by. One such watering hole is Whittles, a pub in the centre of Oldham that specialises in putting on rock shows for its punters. But as the expenses mount up, it's increasingly likely that it will be the business that ends up on the rocks.
I'm Keith Lawrence, I'm the manager at Whittles in Oldham. It's Oldham's premier rock venue. When I first took over here just under 5 years ago, it was the worst performing pub in the company, had no live music. We don't charge on the door, so we rely on what people buy over the bar. And the thing is, our trade is down 20-25% on what it was a year, 18 months, 2 years ago. And what we find is people are coming out later. They're then sipping rather than supping. And if they've got a designated driver, all he wants to do when the band finishes is get in the car and go home so he can raid the drinks cupboard. Here, the money for the bands comes out the drinks. So when my turnover is down, that means stuff that has been paid for, staff that's been paid for, and all the rest of it, the profit that is left is less. So the whole budget syndrome is, I can't afford to keep paying out if I haven't got the band, the punters coming in to see the bands and buy money over the bar. You know, that's the bottom line on it. So what happens? We get a budget, government puts another bloody increase on, doing nothing to help the industry at all. The stats are that in the last 10 years, the UK has gone from 46,000 pubs down to 28,000 pubs. And last year they were closing at a rate of somewhere around 50 a week. This year they reckon it slowed down to about 7 or 8 a week. Well, if you add that on to the thousands that went last year and people that thought they could survive that haven't survived, you know, I'm lucky I've got a part of a company. If I was a single, a tenant myself, the trading over the last 6 months, I'd have gone bang. The bank wouldn't have kept bailing me out and all the rest of it. You know, this is a working area. People have had their hours cut, wages frozen, and times are hard all round. We have to keep putting the prices up because we get brewery increases, supplier increases, crisps, nuts, everything is going up. And the minute we put something on, we're called robbing bastards. In actual fact, our profit margin is being squeezed and squeezed week in, week out. And there's nothing we can do about it. We have to keep the money coming in. As I say, we're actually running in the first 3 months of this year at a loss that the company wouldn't like me to give an actual figure out, but I've been running at a loss. The smoking ban was a disaster for the whole of the leisure industry. Mecca Bingo in Scotland, they had the smoking ban a year before we did in England, and by the end of that year, 1/3 of Mecca Bingo halls had gone under because people can't smoke in there, just not going in. So the smoking ban was ill thought out. Why on earth they couldn't leave it to the landlords to decide, and then, you know, I don't care if I have to put a 12-foot flashing neon sign across the front of the pub saying this is a smoking pub, but let the adults decide whether they want to go in there or not. So it's not just the Foodo bistros and places like that are suffering, the whole industry is suffering, and the government are doing nothing to help us.
Next we move further out of the borough to the idyllic surroundings of Saddleworth. Nestled in the hills are many pubs that offer a variety of different dining experiences. Perhaps one of the more popular venues is the Black Lad, which is famous for its hearty English cuisine. But what's the story behind one of the more successful pubs in the area?
My name's Angus Wharton. My partner, Amy, she took this on 4 years ago, and she took it with another partner, but he pulled out after 2 years. So I became